In this video we're gonna set this UI text. Okay, so whenever we collect cherries, as you can see, it's updating in the UI text as well. So we're gonna set this in this video. So without furthering delay, let's dive into this topic. So what we need to do, go to hierarchy. Okay, right click or hit the plus icon and go to UI and select the canvas. Okay, select the canvas. So we're gonna place all of the UI element, text, image, okay, all of the UI elements into this canvas. Okay, so I'm gonna drag it to the top in the hierarchy, and I'm gonna move up hierarchy, and F to select the canvas, and F to focus on, and go to canvas scaler of this canvas, and select scale with screen size. Okay, and select X to 1920. Okay, and in Y we're gonna select 1080. So we're gonna place all of the UI elements into this canvas. So what we need to do first, we're gonna right click on canvas. Okay, create an empty game object. Okay, we will call this UI something like that, and select this. Okay, select the go to rect transform and select this, and hold down alt on your keyboard and select this top bottom. Okay, bottom right, select this one. Okay, it will stretch feed the canvas. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna call this to UI something like that. Okay, we're gonna call this UI, and right click on that UI. Okay, right click on that UI, go to UI and select this legacy, and then go to text. Okay, we will call this one cherry text something like that. Okay, cherry text, we will call this cherry text. So what we're gonna do, select the cherry text. Okay, and hold down alt on your keyboard and resize this. Select the stretch tool and hold down alt on your keyboard, so it will stretch from center. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna firstly select the font size to 100, and we're gonna make it white. Okay, so go to color fill and make it white. Okay, and I'm gonna font style to select bold. Okay, and we're gonna put 0 over here, and alignment to select both of this center. Okay, so what we're gonna do, go to rect transform of this cherry text. Okay, select the rect transform and select this, hold down all, select the left one. Okay, so it will stretch scale with our screen, as you can see. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna make it little bit like this. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we need to create we're gonna create a collectible script. Okay, we're gonna create a collectible script. So go to assets, right click, create C# script, name that script collectible, and we're gonna attach this script. Okay, we're gonna attach this script with our player. Okay, hit enter. Okay, collectibles or collectible, like that you have to name it. Okay, and select the player and attach this script to with player. Okay, and so select the script and drag it to add component. So we need to open up the script firstly, double click it to open up. Okay, double click it to open up, and head again to Unity and select the game object, player game object, and attach this script to player game object. Drag it to add component section. Okay, so just wait for to compile. It will compile for a bit. Okay, just wait for to compile. So select the player game object. Okay, select the player game object and drag the collectible script to add component section. So what we're gonna do, and as you can see, this became plus icon. So we need to do overrides. Go to overrides and then apply all. Okay, so what we're gonna do, open up the player script, open up the collectible script. So we're gonna remove this two function, we don't need this, and we're gonna remove these two namespaces in the top. And so what we need, we're gonna create, we're gonna check. Okay, so we have to use this on trigger inter 2D function. Basically this function get triggered whenever we trigger with something or collide with something. Okay, if that game object has collider selected is triggered to true, like this, if I select the cherry game object and if to focus on. Okay, if I go to cherry game object collider, circle collider, as you can see, we checked is triggered to true, as you can see. So what we gonna do, go to collectible script. So this function get triggered when we trigger with something. Okay, so we're gonna check. Okay, we're gonna check if that game object we have to go to, we can extract info of that game object. Okay, by going to this other, we can extract info something like name. Okay, dot name or dot text, something like that. Okay, so what we gonna do, so so what we're gonna do, we're gonna check. Okay, whatever we triggering with, we're gonna check if that game object has cherry tag. So what we need to go to cherry. Okay, and we need to assign this cherry to as a cherry tag. So what we need to do, select the cherry. Okay, and go to inspector. Over here use you can see a tag. So what we're gonna do, add tag. Okay, and select this plus icon and name it cherry and save it. Okay, and again head again to sorry, that game object. Okay, and assign that tag to cherry and overrides over here apply all, so it will change in the prefab as well, or in the copy of that game object as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do, so go over to script again. So what we are doing, this on trigger enter 2D function get trigger when we trigger with something. Okay, and we are checking if that game object has tag as cherry. Okay, if that game object has tag cherry. So firstly we need to keep track of how many cherry we have. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create an integer. Okay, so we're gonna make it public to see in inspector. So we're gonna make this will be integer, and we will call this current cherry. Okay, current cherry, it will keep track of how many cherry we have, and in the start we will have 0 cherry as we know. So by default we're gonna set it current cherry to 0. Okay, so what we're gonna do over here, whenever we trigger with cherry, we're gonna increase current cherry by 1 unit. Okay, so what we have to do, current cherry. Okay, current cherry and then plus equal 1 or plus. Okay, control s on your keyboard and head again to unity. You will able to see in the player script. Okay, we attach players the collectible script into player. So we will able to see the current cherry field will appear. Okay, that is integer value. So just wait for compile. Okay, just wait for to compile and select the player. As you can see, current cherry by default we set to 0. Okay, so whenever we trigger with this cherry, okay, trigger with this cherry or collide with this cherry, so what we are doing, we are increasing this current cherry by 1 unit, as you can see. Okay, if that game object has a cherry tag, as we know we assigned it the cherry as a cherry tag. Okay, so we are increasing by 1 unit. Okay, by 1 unit, as you can say current cherry plus equal 1. So if we hit play, okay, if we hit play, we will able to see our current cherry will increase by 1 if we collide with the first one, and if we collide with this again the second one, so we will have current cherry 2. As you can see in this in our game, we have 2 cherries. So if we collect the first one, okay, if we collect the first one, as you can say current cherry become 1, and if we collect the second one, oh okay, then as you can say current cherry became 2. So what we're gonna do, instead of showing over here, we're gonna show into this text. Okay, so we need this text element. So what we have to do, text element is UI element. Okay, so we need to include, okay, we need to include this namespace using unity engine dot UI. Okay, we have to use this namespace to accessing the UI, sorry, the text. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna create an empty field of text, and then we're gonna drag that text, so we will have reference. Okay, so we're gonna make it public to see in inspector, and the type of this component will be text, and we're gonna call this something like current text, sorry, current cherry text or cherry text for simple. Okay, cherry text txt. And what so control s on your keyboard and head again to unity, you will able to see an empty field of text will appear. So what we need to do, we need to drag this text into that field. Okay, so we will have reference or link of this text, so we can tweak value over here. We will show how many cherry we have collected through this text. Okay, so wait for compile. So as you can see, cherry text which is empty says none. So what we need to do, we need to drag this text to that field. Okay, this text, if I select the text, okay, if to focus on, as you can see, so we drag it into that field, drag it into that field. Okay, now we have a link of this cherry text. As you can see, we drag it into this field. So what we can tweak some, so we can set this value. As you can see, if I select the UI text, okay, we can set like 1, then 2. Whenever we collect, by default we going to set to 0. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to go over to player script, collectible script. Once again, double click it to open up in Visual Studio. So what we need to do, so we're gonna do it update function. Okay, because update function get called every time we need to check how many current cherry we have. Okay, and we have to update in the UI as well. So we need to do it update function. Okay, so update function, just type void update. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna set this text. Okay, cherry text. Okay, cherry text, firstly we have to go to cherry text and then dot text. Okay, we're gonna set equal to current cherry. Okay, current cherry. So current cherry, so as you can see, cherry text dot text over here is a string. Okay, if I select the cherry text, okay, this is a string. Okay, this is a string, and we are setting it to current cherry. But current cherry, as you know, this is integer value, this is not string. So what we need to do, we need to convert this integer to string. So we have to type this dot to string. Now it will convert. Okay, sorry, it will convert into string. Current cherry by default we set to 0. Okay, by default we set it to 0, as you can see. So the current cherry over here will be 0. So the current cherry text over here will be 0 because we are directly setting it. So whenever we collect the first cherry, okay, we are increasing the cherry amount by 1. As you can see, whenever we trigger with that cherry, we are increasing by 1. Okay, so the current cherry becomes 1, so this will be 1. So the cherry text dot text will be 1 because the current cherry becomes 1. Whenever we collect the cherry in the second time, so the current cherry 1, so 1 plus 1 will be 2. As we know, if we collect the cherry second time, so the current cherry over here will be 2. So the current cherry text dot text will be 2 because we are directly setting it and we are doing it update function. As you can see, we need to keep track of how many cherry we have and we need to update in the UI. So that's why we are doing it update function. Update function gets called every time, so that's why. Okay, control s on your keyboard and head again to unity. You will able to see whenever we collide or trigger with this cherry, we will able to see in the UI in the text, the text will go to 1 then 2. So how many cherry we have in this scene or game view? As you can see, we have 2 cherries. So if we collect both of them, so we will have the text 2 because we are directly setting our current cherry to cherry text to our current cherry, as you seen. So if I console the clear. Okay, now if I hit play. Okay, if I hit play, we will able to see that. Okay, we will able to see that. Just wait for to compile. Just wait for to compile. And oh, firstly we forgot to so what we need to do, so I guess we need to drag like this and we have to overwrite, and we did some mistake, I guess. So just wait for to compile, we will able to see that. Just wait for to compile. Object not separate as an instant. Okay, if I select this, so we don't have. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this for now. So I'm gonna save it and I'm gonna hit play once again. We will able to see that, okay. Whenever we trigger or collide with these cherries, we will see in the UI text, okay. So if I now, as you can see, the cherry text becomes one when we collide with the first one or trigger with the first one. If I trigger with the second one, as you can see, this becomes two. Okay, I hope you get the idea. Okay, so if you are new to my channel, then subscribe it for future tutorials. Okay, if you enjoyed this video, then like this and share it with your friends who want to learn from Unity from the beginning. And lastly, thanks for watching this video. And if you want to support me, you can support me on patreon.com. Okay, and lastly, thanks for watching this video.